Hi everyone, my name is Kengawa Claire and I'm going to be taking you through the timetable generator. As earlier uploaded some notes about the timetable generation, so I'll define it again. Timetable generator, this is an AI system that is going to be automatically generating for us timetables. Like you put in the requirements that you want and it generates for you a timetable. So I'll take you through what I've managed to do. The introduction to the automatic timetable generator. This automatic timetable generator, as I've explained, it's an AI project which will automatically schedule for institutions, lecture timetables, personal timetables, organization timetables, in order to ease life. Like you don't have to take your time, sit down and do paperwork for a timetable. You will simply put in the requirements that you need for your timetable and it will generate for you the timetable in the shortest period of time possible. So the problem statement, this is mainly what is it all about? Like what problem is it solving? To improve on the ordinary way of formulating timetables, we must use the merging technologies like, AI. AI is a new merging technology which simplifies work at just a fingerprint. So with the new merging technologies, you can easily do many things like in the minimal time possible. And with this AI, we shall automatically be able to generate timetables for our organizations, institutions, and more. Our objectives are to automatically generate timetables. That's it all about. To create different use for each user. Like when you have your timetable, you should not have the same interface with the admin timetable. Like they should have different interfaces for which are user friendly to each other. And to also give alerts, like you have this lecture this time, you could be like caught up by time, or you have some other business that you're doing. So this timetable will be in position to remind you, like giving you alerts via emails or SMSs. And the data sets that are going to be used are numerical data. As you know, we are going to be dealing with digits, integers, like then the time, the period of hours that you're going to spend in a lecture. Then we have the multivariate data sets, the categorical data sets, and correlation, like to show the correlation between the different subjects that are having. So the block diagram showing the data tables that will be generated. This is simply an algorithm that I'm going to be using during this formulation of data for the timetable. So we shall have to define the classes and also subjects. Then define the class teacher room, like we have lectures in different rooms. So by defining that, you go to defining your scheduling preferences. Like we have programs that run during evening and programs that run during day. So if the class teacher has any other preferences, like if this happens, then this should happen, then also that part will be included. Then the magic will happen, that the timetable will pop up and it will present for you. The expected results, like after you've entered, like followed that algorithm that I've shown you, it should be able to generate for you the best timetable that you can use. For example, that one. So the factors considered when selecting data sets for this timetable, we have availability, like the data set should be available. Like you don't have to stress to look for data sets. No, data sets should be available whenever you want to generate your data. It should not interrupt anything, like data literally has to be available all the time. The performance, now the performance deals with the end users, like the frontliners of our timetables. So in case I want to use it for a particular day, remember it will be online, like you'll have to access it on a device. So in case you want to access it, will it really be available? Like the performance, how will it be performance? In case I change anything, will it automatically update it for the case of the admins? In case they want to fix in another lecture during that time, will it be able to adjust and fix it and automatically do everything right. Then monitoring and lighting, as I told you, it will be giving us alerts on the lectures that we have to attend, disaster recovery, as accountability. Who is accountable in case you change anything? Will it be able to regenerate for you the perfect thing and recover all the data within that period? Then business support. With the timetables, as I explained earlier, it should not be like so institutional for academics. No, even other businesses, like organizations, can go into it, like, because they have to formulate timetables for their workers. So it should support business also. The data features that are going to be used here, data features mainly for this timetable generator, I'll be able to teach the system new data, like feeding it on new data to learn from, and also include some data sets that are already existing, like the names of the lecturers, lecture room, scheduling preferences, and more. But mainly, I'll manage to feed the system with new data to learn from. Then we go to Bayesian theorem. As you know, all mathematicians always come about this theorem, like we use it for probabilities to make conditions, like if this happens, then this should happen. So Bayes' theorem states that the conditional probability of an event based on the occurrence of another event is equal to the likelihood of the second event given the first event multiplied by the probability of the first event. If I'm to put it in math-wise, like put it in math, for example, if you have variables like P given A, what we shall have, it shall be P given A is equal to P probability of P intersection A divided by probability of A. And that is our condition, that in order to fulfill like to fulfill one part should also be handled in order to fulfill the other part. Like they are independent. You can't say that this one is independent of the other. No, one depends on the other in order to occur. So I was able to get some applications. It's used in internet marketing to profile visitors on a website, and they use Bayes' theorem in decision analysis and decision trees. F Bayes simply for it is independent. Like, what do I mean by that? We assume that all the assumptions are true for a certain data set. Like, for example, in math, we assume that all conditions are true, even if, like, once we go into details of proving, they might be not true. So that's what Bayes does. So Bayes is a simple learning algorithm that utilizes Bayes' rule together with a strong assumption that attributes are conditionally independent given the class. That's what I was explaining earlier. So we go to Bayesian networks. So the Bayesian networks are related to the Bayesian rule, just that for it uses graphs to represent the knowledge about uncertain domain, where each node represents a random variable and each edge represents the conditional probability for the corresponding random variables. Yeah, that's it in brief. The differences between Bayes' theorem and naive Bayes, like there is a great similarity because they all use conditions, like depend on something. But for naive Bayes, simply it assumes conditional independencies. Like for it assumes that all the conditions are correct, though sometimes when you prove they may be wrong. Whereas Bayesian theorem depends on conditions to draw conclusions. Like I told you, like this thing has to happen in order for this one to occur. The differences also between naive Bayes and Bayesian networks. Naive Bayes assumes conditional independence, as I explained, whereas Bayes networks will allow the user to specify which attributes are in fact conditionally independent. Yes, we also have another difference. Naive Bayes assumes that all the features conditionally independent of each other, while Bayesian networks does not have such assumptions. Go into details of that. Then, in case you want to know more about the timetable generation, different areas of generating a timetable, like to go into details, you can go to the references that are provided. And also the future works of this timetable, we shall be able to implement different user interfaces, like I explained. Like you have a student will have a different interface, or an employee will have a different interface, and the organization, like the admin, what they also have a different interface to interact with this timetable, because the changes, like literally students do not have to put changes to the timetable, but have to use the timetable. So that interface will be able to be added in as in our future works. Then to be able to give reports about missed lectures, like some lecturers always have that tendency of missing lectures, but like the administration, they don't get to know what exactly happened during the day. So with this timetable generator, they always have feedbacks, like they always get weekly reports about those missed lectures. In conclusion, you can subscribe to my channel in order to get in order to in order to get more views, more knowledge about the timetable.